In this video, I will teach you how to use Elementor's artificial intelligence. Hey guys, how are you? Here is Michaela from Simplifying Websites. And Elementor invited us to test in the first hand here in Brazil the new artificial intelligence that they will implement there in the plugin. I am very enthusiastic for you to see the possibilities that we will have with this new technology. And before going to my computer screen, I will ask you to leave a like here in this video and for you to subscribe to the channel. Okay? So that's it. Let's go to my computer screen now. So come on, guys, I'm here at the Innova Accountability landing page, which is a service land page that I taught you to create here on the channel. And I'll leave the card link in the description if you want to go there, check it out, and learn how to create this site, okay? I separated here in some topics the configurations that Elementor's artificial intelligence allows us to modify with it. And I separated some commands here for us to use, for you to see that it will help a lot in our work, in our creation process. Remembering that it is not yet available, Elementor invited us to test in the first hand here in Brazil and show you in practice how the AI is working, but it is still in the alpha phase, so you still can't access it. And they haven't told us how much it will be released to the public yet. But as soon as it's in the beta phase, which is the phase you can test, I'll let you know, okay? So follow me on Instagram because I always leave news there. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, okay? And let's go to the tutorial. Look, the first thing I want to show you is where it is enabled, right? I'm going to show you all the text effects here that Elementor brought us. And for you to identify it, you look for these stars, see? Whenever you have a field with these stars, it means you can click and activate the AI, okay? And here in the text function, there are several things we can do. It allows us to translate the texts to any language we want, that we rewrite texts or that we create texts from scratch. When you click here, for example, let me click on this one. Then I access the AI here. And then to rewrite it, it has some commands. It comes in English, but if you right-click here on your page and click on Translate to Portuguese, you will be able to see here translated, okay? And then it has a way for you to rewrite with a more simplified language. So look, the text is currently like this. Facilitates the life of your business with an efficient 100% online accounting, etc. Then if I click here on Simplify Language, it will rewrite in a simpler way. See? Sometimes it translates to English. It brings the text in English, but you just have to go here and translate. And change to Portuguese, which it rewrites in Portuguese, okay? Look. See? So it has already rewritten there, restructured this text in another way. I'm going to use Ctrl-Z to go back to what it was here too, for you to see. There are other things here, look. You can make the text shorter, so it will write with fewer words. You can make it longer. I'm going to click on this longer one. Then it takes the same dynamics as the text. It brings more information here for us. Now it already brought it in Portuguese. See? It rewrote the text here for us in a longer way. You can change the tone, the direction of the type of language you want to use. Change the tone. You can make the text more casual, more formal, more friendly, more inspiring, more motivational. Motivational, we use a lot in language to help with persuasion. More playful. Professional with a more scientific tone, more direct, more intelligent. So there are all these options here for you to test. And then just click on Use Text. Okay? So this is the option to rewrite. You need the text to be able to rewrite. But if you put a new text widget, you can write from scratch too. For example, here in the part of who we are. If you were to ask him to write a text here about who we are, you can come here. I'm going to make a command here. I'm going to ask him to write a text about us to an accounting company. Write a text about us to an accounting company. Generate text. Then he will generate for us. Look, he generated this whole text here. See? A really cool text. And then you can, like I said, you can make the modifications if you want to make it longer, shorter. Change the tone here. I'm going to put it here more casual. This casual is really casual. So when you ask him to generate a text, you have to read it and see how it will work for you. I brought it in English, just change it to Portuguese. And look, he generated a more casual text. Hello, our legal accounting company offers super personalized services that meet specific needs. Anyway, then you give a read, you shape it, sometimes you write a paragraph that was cool. Leave only another one for him to rewrite. Go shaping the text the way you want. If you have a text here too, you want to translate, same thing. You can just ask him to translate. So you come here and translate to, I'll put here translate to French. Then he will translate this whole text to French. See? Then the text is all translated to French. These are the functions here that you can do in the text. So any widget that has text written, you will be able to do this. Now comes the function that will be one of the most usable functions. I'm sure we'll use it more, which is the CSS function. He can create CSS from scratch here for us. I've even left some prompts ready, some commands already written here so we don't waste time, to show you the possibilities and open your mind to what's coming. This one, for example, changes the background color to red. I pass the mouse and make the text and description change to white when I pass the mouse. I made this command here for us to put in these boxes. See? They have text, they have an icon. You ask me a lot on Instagram, how do I make CSS or some way to make the icon change color or make the text change color? Now, having the elementary here, you can ask him, send this command to him, he will generate the CSS for us. Then you insert. As my page is translated here to Portuguese, sometimes it can give some error. So let me ask here to generate again. I changed the page to English again. You have to make sure you're in the right widget to put it. I'm going to choose a card here. In this case, I'm going to click on this advanced CSS. I'm going to activate the IA here. I'm going to paste this command here. He generated a code here for us. And when I pass the mouse here on the card, it changes the text to white and changes the background to red, just like I asked. So this will be very useful because it's something we use a lot in the layout. Another command that I already left written here, when you pass the mouse, leave the background black-white text with padding, which is the space inside, 10 pixels with smooth transition effect. So, if you write it right, it can get several commands at once. So, for example, sometimes we want to leave the title with a black background, or do it in the mouse, in the CSS window. First, I'm going to ask without passing the mouse. I'm going to take this one out when I pass the mouse. I asked, just leave the background black and the text white, blah, 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 generate the code. See, he already did this for me. I could change it to white, leave it centered, it would be cool. I could have asked him to leave the edges rounded. It would be cool too. But I'm going to ask him to do this by passing the mouse. Let's see. Look, when I pass the mouse, it looks like this. Let me change it to blue. It looks like this, see? So you can do several other things here. Sometimes, if he doesn't get everything, let me see, the text white, he didn't get the white text transition because it was already white. So, sometimes if you want to do this, you have to leave it blue first and then come here and ask him to do this, to change the text to white, to pass the mouse, because as it was already white, he didn't let me change it. Then you just have to think carefully, adjust the commands that come out the way you need. Look, one more here, round the tab's edges. I use this a lot, especially in land page. I always leave this code for you, which is this code to round this tab here, which an Elementor does not have as a standard. I'm going to exclude the one I already have here, which I like to leave this round tab. And then you can come here, I'm going to ask him to round all the tabs to 30 pixels. See? And then he already made the code for me. I didn't have to go outside to get the ID or the class of the item I want to round. In this one, I also did. I left this white border that wasn't in Elementor. I also did this and taught you in the tutorial. This one is pulsing here because I had even tested it here, but I even put it here. I do the button to pulse in loop. So you come here, ask him. I've already used this in a land page too. And he will leave the button pulsing in loop. And once the code is here, you can change it, for example. If you go here, put a second, it will make it faster. The smaller you leave it here, the faster the transition. So there's a lot you can do. Another cool thing, I saw this in the Element video. I found it very interesting. I'll put 3 images here in a container. I'll leave them all the same size. So I'll come here in width, customize. I'll leave 400 by 400 so the effect looks cool. Then I'll copy, paste the style in the others. I left them all the same size. Then I'll get this command here. I'll come here in advanced. I found this effect really cool. I asked him to leave the image in gray, and when I move the mouse, I'll round it and bring the colors again. See, it's really cool. And when they're the same, you can copy and paste in the other. So you come here in CSS, paste in this one too, look. It works for other widgets too, for example, for products, for posts. Here in posts, for example, I'll put it here for you. Then we come here in CSS. We come here in CSS. I'll get the same command. Paste. Look, and when I move the mouse, it's round. See that it's getting kind of oval? Because the images are not the same. So we just come here and adjust the images so that they are the same size and they will be rounded, cute, the way we want. But anyway, it's just an example I'm giving you. I make the text move horizontally. I also saw this in the element. I thought it was really cool. This one is interesting if we get a container, leave it here, full width, advanced, 0 padding, then I get a text here. I'll even leave a sentence here that I had already left written. Then we can come here in style, for example, space between words. Right? Leave it like this. Leave it centralized here. Everything is centralized. I'll come here in the title, in advanced, CSS, then I'll paste this command here, make the text move horizontally continuously or in loop. And then it lets the text pass. It's very interesting. I also like this effect for us to use in a carousel. It's really cool in a carousel. I'll get an Elementor image carousel here. I'll drag it here. I'll select some images here. I selected some images. I'll leave their size the same, so I'll leave it personalized. I'll leave 7 images to display. Then I'll remove the arrows and dots, leave none, leave the carousel as it is. And then I'll come here, Advanced CSS. I'll ask here, make the slide move horizontally continuously. Look at that. Look at how cool the effect of the images are. Without that pause, you know? Let me show you the difference. The normal slide is like this. I'll even show you slides to run. 2 at a time, more options, reproduce automatically. Yes. See, it keeps passing. It gives a little pause. I'll let it run. See? It gives a little pause. So I think this pause is ugly. And then when we put this effect here, it keeps running continuously and looks so cute. I think it's really cool. It put the spaces here, but anyway, you can ask to redo the command or remove these spaces from CSS, but even so, I thought it was really cool. So there's a lot we can do via CSS here to make the layouts more beautiful without needing additional plugins for each little thing, right? There are also the effects in HTML, so just as we can modify here in CSS, there are in HTML too. So we get the HTML widgets here. Then it already has some prompts ready here. I even left it mentioned here. You can put the Spotify screen, bring Google Analytics tags from Facebook, or leave a PDF here to be viewed. I'll translate the page here to Portuguese. See? So if you want to bring an event from Google Analytics, just click here, put your ID here, and ask to generate the code that it will generate. See? The Spotify wireframe, you put the Spotify ID here, which then generates a box here. I don't have any ID here now, otherwise I would show you. But anyway, just get the Spotify playlist ID and put it here. It will bring a Spotify screen to play here on the site. It's really cool. This one with the pixel is the same thing. This one is really cool, the PDF one. I uploaded a PDF file here on the site, which is this one, which is a print of a fishnet we made, see? I'll copy it. I'll paste the PDF link here. I'll ask it to generate. Look how cool. Then it leaves it here for us to view the PDF, see? You can close this tab here to see it all. Leave it open, because it shows the pages. Look, I already left it here to download, to print, so it's very useful for sites that need to put documents to be downloaded. It's very interesting. Another thing I asked for, let me see if I wrote down the commands, is to create a calculator here just so you can understand the size of this mechanism. I'll put it here again. Then I asked here for it to create a body mass index calculator, which is IMC, with fields of age, weight, and height for us to fill. I asked to generate. With HTML, sometimes it accepts the commands, sometimes it says it can't, but I've tested it several times and it brought it to me. The same commands, I even wrote down the prompt, which are the commands. When I asked to generate a body mass index calculator, it brought me this code here. Then I pasted it and it became a calculator. I'll even do a calculation here. See? It already shows here. I asked for this one here, which is for it to generate a percentage calculator with the fields of value and value to calculate for us to do. And it also brought me, let me see if it will want to do it now. It's good to change the commands. So you ask, generate a CSS code to make a calculator, generate a calculator that does this. Change the words the way you write, which sometimes it works. See, now it brought it. I'll insert it, look how cool. See, I'll put, for example, 30,000. And calculate 15% of it. 4,500. It already brings us the calculator. Then you can ask it to generate an online CSS to be able to get used to it to help you with that. There are many, many possibilities, as you may have noticed. This CSS issue is from Elementor Pro, so probably this CSS function will come in Elementor Pro. As for the texts, I don't know if it will come in Pro or Free. They haven't specified that yet. And there's also another thing that I think will be really cool, which they haven't even brought in this version, which is the image issue. I even put image effects here to be able to tell you about it. When you move your mouse here, try to click. You can't click. It's written in short. So, for sure, they will still put intelligence so we can ask it to generate some kind of image. Or to edit the image, it will be able to do that. And it will be amazing. It will make our life a lot easier. I'm very excited to see how this will be here in the beta version, in the final version, so we can use it. The only thing I'm sure of is that it will make our creation process a lot easier. If you're excited about this, if you liked it, leave it here in the comment for me, saying what you think, what you expect from the new Elementor updates with this tool. And if you also liked the video, don't forget to like it. It helps the channel a lot. Subscribe to the channel. And that's it. A big hug. See you next time. Bye.